Good morning, friends. My name is Balaji. I'm one of the past chairs of YA Coimbatore Chapter, and I incidentally also happen to be the one of the members of Coimbatore Nature Society. And today I'm just going to talk you through the steps that we have taken to bring out this wonderful book, The Birds of Coimbatore, the first edition, and how we are going to go about doing the second edition. So, if you really see how the entire project started, um, actually, why Coimbatore has been doing Coimbatore Villa for a very long time, as you may be well aware. And for every Coimbatore Villa, we wanted to do something different. And in 2015, we wanted to bring out a book which documents the natural history of Coimbatore and present it to the people, and because we want to leave something of permanence to the city during the Coimbatore Villa. So as a first step, I think there are a lot of bird enthusiasts here in Coimbatore. So we thought we should start with documenting the wonders of Coimbatore, the avian wonders, the birds. As a first step, we thought we could document it. And the book was released during the Coimbatore Villa celebration in February 2016. And we wanted to make it as a continued activity. Year on year, we wanted to release book on different topics. But somehow that has not happened. And we want to revive that activity again. So, for this activity, we roped in another organization called Coimbatore Nature Society. So, Coimbatore Nature Society is like a very leading birdwatching group. It's an organization which is involved in appreciating and documenting natural aspects of Coimbatore and spreading awareness about the natural biodiversity of Coimbatore. Has a very rich experience, particularly in the aspect of birds. It has participated in several forest department surveys. It has done a variety of activities. So it has quite a lot of experience over the years. And because of these reasons, Coimbatore Nature Society was like a natural choice in bringing out this book. So, if you look at why Coimbatore is such a rich place with respect to birds, it mainly burns down to its richness in habitats. We have like evergreen forests, moist deciduous forests, dry deciduous forests, thorny scrub jungles, wetlands, agriculture fields, dry grasslands, and urban spaces. So these diversity of habitats also reflects in the diversity of the wildlife that we see in Coimbatore district. In fact, Coimbatore is also encircled on two of its sides by the Western Ghats. So that also helps in the biodiversity of Coimbatore. So this diversity of habitats also makes a variety of food available for birds, and it attracts a lot of birds. So we have like more than 400 species of birds, both as residents and migrants to Coimbatore. And if you look at Coimbatore in comparison with the other districts in Tamil Nadu, if you look at the number of birds that are documented here in Tamil Nadu, overall we have about 513 species of birds, of which Coimbatore itself has like 409 species of birds right now. So we only have like 100 odd species which we don't have here, have not sighted yet here in Coimbatore. Most of these birds are like what we say as pelagic birds or oceanic birds. So given the biodiversity of Coimbatore, when we did the first edition, we want to cover as many species as possible. So with whatever resources that we had available, both newspapers, repositories like eBird, and other public available data, we compiled a list and we validated 317 species of birds, and these 317 species we documented in the first edition of Coimbatore. At present, right now, we have validated about 409 species of birds, and this is what we aim to document in the second edition. So this is, as a disclaimer, we'd like to say that this is neither a field guide nor scientific work. This is more to create interest among the general public about the biodiversity of Coimbatore and inspire them to protect it. And it's also ways means that we see to attract people from other regions of our country to Coimbatore by presenting its avian diversity. So this is like a two-pronged strategy that we are looking at. So what did we do, and what sets this book apart from the other book is that Birds of Coimbatore, when its first edition was released, this was the perhaps the first book to be released focusing on just one district of our country, and subsequently we have like other books also being released, like we have like Birds of Tiruvannamalai, and now we have Birds of Ramanathapuram, it's under development. So what sets this book apart from the other field guides is that we have included several birding hotspots in Coimbatore, because one of the things that is a big challenge to most of the people is like once they get aware about the birds, they want to know where to see them. So we have included the hottest birding hotspots in Coimbatore. 15 of them we had included in the first edition. We have planned to include a few more in the second. We have included like a checklist of where very critical birds or very rare birds can be seen. We have included a checklist of the entire Coimbatore district. We have included also frequently asked questions, do's and don'ts for bird watchers. We have included several pictures of the habitat, what to expect from all these like hotspots, what kind of habitat it supports, so what kind of bird life it supports. We have also included like a brief description of every single bird that was like validated at that point in Coimbatore. In fact, we intend to do the same thing in the second edition as well, and we also intend to include a few more sections in the book, like how to identify like birds, how to distinguish like certain families of birds which are like a little rather difficult to identify for a beginner, like warblers, raptors, gulls, terns, pipits, for example. These are very confusing and sometimes like very challenging for us to distinguish. So we intend to include a section for that as well. So I was telling about like we have shared information about the birding hotspots, and in the first edition this is how that birding hotspot page used to look like. So we used to include like an iconic bird of the hotspot, the name of the place along with GPS coordinates, and the description of the hotspot, and any special, like the details, like if there's any special permission required to visit the hotspot, what birds can be seen there, what time of the day is very good to visit, and so on and so forth. So this is like a lot of these bird watchers in the city found this like extremely useful, even among the veteran bird watchers. So we have also included like a matrix of birds and places where some of the iconic species or rare or difficult to see species we have sort of included a checklist where these birds can be seen in these locations. So this is like a handy guide. So we have included like a checklist of the birds of Coimbatore. At that time, in the first edition, we had about 321 species, and right now, as we speak in 2020, we have now validated about 409 species. So almost like the number of birds have grown by almost like 100. So this is about the right time to bring out the next edition of the book. So about 25 other topics apart from birds have been discussed in the book, and this is a sample page. This is a frequently asked question section where we sort of compiled a list of questions what the amateur bird watchers, when they start coming into bird watching, what kind of questions they have in mind. We have sort of put together these questions and try to answer them for the public, and this was like a huge hit for the first edition. So this is like a spread where we have described the species. So on as you see below, we have like a full page spread of some iconic species. On the right hand, we have like a typical species profile where we have given the scientific name, the description of the species, what kind of food it eats, distinguishing features from the other birds, some of its nesting and breeding habits, what kind of habitat it prefers, what is the status of the bird in the IUCN list, which is like a list which sort of determines whether the bird is like critically endangered, threatened, and so on and so forth. So that information we have given in the book also. So this is like a detailed look about the contents. As you can see, the common name, the scientific name, the family, the IUCN status, local status, the habitat, and other such details are given. So it's pretty much like everything like a beginning bird watcher wants, and we have done it meticulously for all the 317 species that we had included in the first edition, and we intend to do the same for the second edition as well. Of course, with some changes, with updates and other things, with the IUCN updates and other things. So we have come to the very end of the presentation. Thank you so much for your patient listening. We have already done the first edition, and we had, I think at that time we had printed about 750 copies, and as a testament to its value, all the 750 copies were sold out in a matter of like 2 months. We were completely sold out, and it's almost like 5 years since we have done the first edition, and we have included a lot of birds. In the meantime, our understanding and the knowledge of their habitats and the threats have also increased. So now is the right time to do the second edition. So I thank you so much for your patient listening, and I would love to hear back from you, and we would like you to support this project within whatever way you can, and we'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you so much.